Hey, yo, welcome to the Quarterback School Live Thursday Light Edition. Love it. Let me know that I sound all right. Hit me up in the chat. Make sure this thing is rolling. Make sure as you come into this thing, you hit that like button for me. I certainly appreciate it. See some familiar names in the chat, so we'll get this thing going. But we're here strictly to talk about ball. Take this thing anywhere you guys want to go. Got no set agenda other than I do want to say one thing I'll say at some point during this, but I'm excited. Let's talk some ball. Got my guy Shane in the house. Walker, good to see you guys coming in. Sounds good. What up? What up? Todd already with the Desmond Ridder takes. He had a throw downfield, didn't he? I'm thinking of that backside post we just missed. Skymailed that sucker. We'll see. I'm excited to see more. I shouldn't say I'm excited to see more. I think that Atlanta offense is interesting, specifically from a team builder perspective. As I stare awkwardly into the lens at someone. Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? I get a lot of, I see it in the chat already, my guy Frederick. I get a lot of Zach Wilson requests. I feel like I'm decent at this channel about doing the request game thing. And I know that it's a habit of mine to ask for suggestions at the end of videos. So I bring it on myself. I create this issue. I'm just probably not going to do a lot of Zach Wilson. Now, maybe they turn it around and are just balling out, but I honestly have no desire. And really, you could lump that in with a handful of other guys. Carr. See if there are others that I can think of. I see some Tua love in the channel as well. Fired up for that one. Definitely, Roberto, fired up for the Bills Dolphins this weekend, man. I hope it's a good one. I'm excited to watch it. Get lots of Tua time in here. I definitely have a lot of what I would classify as new people to the channel, so welcome. These lives do not happen as often as I would like them to happen. We'll see. It's not going to be. I lived in a previous life. I used to think I could do it consistently, certain day and time. It's just not real. It's not something that we can see right now in the life of this channel. My guy Mike coming in first with the first super chat. Will we see the two tight end set the Pats use with Gronk and Hernandez ever again? I mean, I feel like we see it a lot. Maybe not with that two dynamic guys like that, but maybe. I mean, I personally love 12 personnel. I feel like we've seen, and I don't have any numbers to back this up, but just from watching whatever amount of film that I watch, I feel like there's more what I would classify as heavy set stuff across the league than there was in the past. I feel like we almost overcorrected to so much 11 personnel that now it's kind of going back a little bit to a little bit more tight end, heavy-ish. Heavy-ish to me just means like anything more than 11 personnel, I guess. Ooh! My guy Brad coming in. What's good, dude? Hope all's well, man. Yo, biggest factors to success for quarterbacks in college and NFL. Top 3 to 4 ingredients that are leading to success. How, why, like CJ Stroud or any college QB. Top 3 or 4 ingredients. I mean, I think the hard thing to make sense of for people who are especially are in it like you are and trying to like get people to the next level and develop those young cats. I think the hardest part for them to get is that there are just certain barriers to entry that are hard for like what I would classify as a little bit more normal athletic humans to realize. And so for a long time it was size. The size thing is probably diminished a little bit with littler guys having more success across the landscape of higher levels of ball. But I think you do have to be able to throw it a certain way. You do have to be able to have enough athleticism to survive. I think size certainly helps also. Back in the day, I definitely always felt like the smallest guy in the huddle, those types of things that are barriers to entry. From there, I do think you have to be able to make a certain number of throws. You don't have to necessarily make every throw like a laser, but arm strength, arm talent, again, barriers to entry. Nowadays, with just the kind of surge element of like the dual threat of guys, the athletic ability, better athletes playing quarterback at lower levels, And then the parts that where you're probably leaning into a little bit more like the intangibles element. I do think that many of the guys who make it to the league, and this is not even quarterback centric, there is some element of like competitive juice that just like is wired in their DNA where they love to compete and probably would be competitors in anything. They just happen to be playing quarterback. And then the capacity to influence, the leadership element of it, I think can't ever be overstated, but how you make sense of that can be really difficult and, unique to individual traits, comfort level, personality, all that stuff, authentic, be yourself, those types of stuff. All right, man, we got 300 people in here. Y'all are going crazy. I appreciate it. Do me a favor as you come in here, hit that like button. I'm sure I missed a number of really good questions in the chat. Don't get hurty feelings if I don't mention you or, doesn't work out this time. You can always come at me sideways in a comment or email or whatever. My man, Darren, I don't know. I apologize if that's not how you pronounce your name. Would you be an NFL offensive coordinator? I mean, maybe. Is there a team in San Diego? People ask me a lot about the coaching element. For a long time, I wanted to coach. The more I saw the lifestyle, the less I want to coach. Would I ever consider it? I mean, I would consider damn near anything. Part of me that would be most excited about that is I do miss like the competitiveness that the highest level brings out. And I think that part of it is hard to replicate in any sector. It doesn't matter what you're doing. So maybe. B. Foster, who's the biggest surprise, good or bad, at the quarterback position this year to you? Off the top of my head, I would say CJ Stroud, just a start he's been playing. The way he's been playing out the gate has been the most impressive thing for me. I've always been big on Tua. I don't think that's a surprise for anybody who knows the history of the channel. I'm bummed about Fields. I'm also not like in the dumpster as much as I think a lot of people are. So we'll see if they can sort it out. They sorted it out last year after more games than this, so we'll see. Man, you guys are going bananas here. I really appreciate the support. I certainly do. I appreciate you guys coming in to the live. Make sure to hit the like as you come in. Burrows, my guy Daniel Jansen coming in hot. Appreciate the support. Burrows' recent struggles, all calf, or is there more to the story than that offense, with that offense? I mean, I'll be honest with you, okay? I haven't watched any Bengals all 22 this year. A part of me just wants, we're getting a lot of love on H-Town Radio. I appreciate that, Marcus. Part of me doesn't like to watch guys play that are injured, and I know they're injured because they're not they're full versions of themselves, the best versions of themselves. Now, I'll watch it if it's playoffs or meaningful games at the end of the year. But right now, there are so many games and so much film, so many quarterbacks that I want to see that I'm just like curious about, that I haven't watched 1 second of Cincinnati's all 22. Now, that being said, the things you alluded to, like, is it offense? Is it more than the calf? For me, and this will always be the case as long as that owner is the owner, it starts from the top down. It's tough to win with an owner like that. And that's just my opinion. Okay, just anecdotally, that's my opinion. The fact that they've already won as much as they have with Burrow there, to me, shows that that's how important and impressive Burrow is as a quarterback, because I think it's hard as hell to win there when you have leadership like that. That's my take. Only me. Okay. At some point, I will absolutely watch the Bengals all 22. I love watching Joe Burrow play. It just hasn't happened this year. The other thing about it is, on this channel, when I'm cranking out videos like early in the week, I'm not watching other videos and being like, oh, I really like this one. I'm watching the film, creating the video, watching the film, creating the video, watching the film, creating the video. So if I don't make a video on someone, I haven't watched the film. So hope that helps a little bit. But I will watch them at some point, absolutely. And I'm sure it's more than just the calf, if I had to guess from not watching anything. Cole, boom. Cole. I know where this is going right out the gate. How has Watson looked this year, in your opinion? I have not watched 1 second of it. I've mentioned this before in the past. I appreciate the support also. I've mentioned this before in the past. I don't know when or if at all there will be more of videos of Watson on this channel. It's just my choice. Like all these different media outlets, they can cover it however they need to cover it. But for this channel and me, how I make sense of what he was accused of, I don't have to do it right now. Now, if they go, have this great season and go deep into the playoffs, then I'm going to probably have to do it. But just how I make sense of it and what my value and how I want to handle it, that's just how I'm rolling. So I haven't watched any of it. Boom. My man Keith, I think Chaos. No, Sean McCarthy. Do you have any time for any college games? Yes. Watched, who would I put out today? Put out the Oregon Colorado game. Oregon looked good. I just want to put this disclaimer out there. Okay. Most people watch Colorado football, college football nowadays. USC is about to put on an absolute, and cover your ears, turn this thing down if you're listening in a public place. USC is about to put on an absolute fucking counter clinic against Colorado. You think Oregon ran counter a lot? Wait till you see Lincoln Riley run counter up and down the field. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy because Oregon was doing it at will. I know I put it out there one time and got all sorts of Cincy buffaloes in my comments on Twitter, but those dudes are little up front. They are little, and they get moved sideways and vertically, and they will get moved a lot. And the run of choice was counter, and down G from Oregon is going to be counter from USC. It's coming. So watch out. If you like counter, catch yourself a counter clinic, USC versus Colorado. Aben, I get a lot of people asking for the Justin Fields week 3 video. Y'all, it's been on Patreon. I warned you in the last video I was going to do it on Patreon. I didn't want to make an edited version of that video. I just didn't. So we just watched it start to finish, and I put it on Patreon. It's a little bit looser as far as the format. Not that the normal format on YouTube is, formal. It's just a little looser because we watch it straight through on the Patreon. So if you're interested on the Justin Fields, and I see you spamming the chat, homie, please stop spamming the chat. It's on Patreon. You got to go over there and sign up. Okay. Now that leads me to one thing I wanted to say, and I'm going to send out an email. If you don't get my emails, I'm not a great emailer, but you can sign up for any of my free resources and you'll get the emails. I'm going to send out an email just saying thank you to this group, not necessarily to you guys in this live, although I appreciate you, but more just in general. This month for the quarterback school has been bananas, legit bananas. Over 50,000 new subs, almost 5 million views, well over 500,000, watch time, hours of watch time. Let that sink in. So pretty crazy. And I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the support. I really do get a kick out of this. I really do have a lot of fun with it. That doesn't mean that I don't try hard and care that it's a good product and hope you all enjoy it, because I have fun with it. But man, sometimes you just are like, wow, that's a lot. And so thank you. I appreciate y'all. All right, let's get into some other stuff. Ron Swanson. This has been that's a blind spot for me. I want to talk about any chance we get Geno Smith tape study. Yes. I just haven't gotten to it. I don't know why. I just haven't got to it. It's on a list of guys I want to get to. I would guess next week or the following week, depending on who they play and what they play. But yes, I want to get to the Geno Smith stuff. I've just never really watched him play, and then he hasn't played that much up until last year. So for whatever reason, he's not top of mind for me. And the top of mind stuff for me is really twofold. One, it's who do I like to watch offensively? Who do I like to watch play quarterback? And then there are some fan bases that just have a bigger presence on the channel than others do. And that's probably my own fault for how I've structured the videos and chosen to do people in the past. And that usually is the Bears, the Packers. There's somebody else that I'm missing. Who else would I think besides the Bears and the Packers? I named 3 originally. Well, the Dolphins. So the Bears, the Dolphins, and the Packers are the 3 fan bases that I feel like have the loudest voices in my little community. And so I like to get to them. If I'm going to hear like requests, it's going to be a lot of those. And so I like watching those teams for the most part. You know what I'm talking about? But those are ones that I try to crank out early in the week. Brad, who else have learned that teaches simple system principles that leads to success like Stroud in the league? Bro, say what now? I don't know. I have a hard time following that question, dog. Sorry. You should scroll up. I've never had this many people in here before, so I apologize for my terrible chat manners. I think I missed some things earlier as well with the super chats. Who else have you learned that's teaching simple system principles that leads to success like Stroud in the league? I think Indy looks like, if Richardson could stay healthy, I think that has similar things like that. I think, I don't know if I would push back, bro, to the idea that any of that is simple. I think CJ Stroud shows you the job that he's doing because he's making these things look simple. And I think the coaching staff is doing a great job putting him in positions to execute and do the things that he's comfortable doing at a high level right away. That's a huge nod to that coaching staff and CJ Stroud, especially with the issues they're dealing with up front. But I think Indy's doing a good job. I think that the 49ers do a good job with that. I think that it's so crazy that Brock Purdy's playing so well with so little NFL experience that I think he's doing a good job with that. I think Tua is doing a great job with making things look simple that aren't simple necessarily. And so, I'm not sure if anybody's out there running like what I would consider like a, high school Harry, crazy simple offense. In fact, I would push back the ones that look like they are, like the guys who probably aren't playing well. You can probably like Fields, like Wilson. Those are the ones that look like they're a little too simple, if that makes sense. All right, Tyler Craig, super chat. Where was it? I missed it, dog. There it is. Jordan Love's completion percentage in inaccuracy versus receivers not fighting for 50-50 balls. Bro, I don't know. I can't follow that. My bad. I would say the Jordan Love completion percentage, if you like how Jordan Love has played up until this point, and I personally like how he's played up until this point, it hasn't been perfect by any means, but I love the way that LaFleur has called games this year. Like really, really enjoy. It's pretty sweet on a number of different levels to see things pop, how things are packaged together, how the plan is layered, how they're taking advantage of what Jordan Love looks like he does really well and has great rhythm with. Pretty awesome. Y'all, we got 700 of our closest friends in here. What the hell is going on? Who fucking shared this link? Let's go. All right, we'll see what we can do here. Oh, man, we got Germany checking in. Appreciate you. See if I can sort this thing out. We got a lot of games in Germany this year. How come none of the Frankfurt Galaxy want me to come on over, man? We can do some like live analysis, hot takes over in Germany. I love my time in Frankfurt. It was good times over there. Appreciate it. Arbnor. Sorry. Lethal. Super chat. Do you like Jordan Love? Do you like Jordan Love like Rodgers? And how do you see him going tonight? Another 10-year empire. I'm not sure if we're a little early on the sample size to say that he's going to be a 10-year guy, but we'll see. I think he's in he's on track, and he's in a system and organization that promotes stability, that if he can come into his own and continue to move on like what I would consider like an upward trajectory of his play, he's got a chance to be one of those guys that can find a way to all of a sudden, win some big games in the big moments and turn this thing from a, great opportunity into another 10-year guy for Green Bay, for sure. Would you do Kenny Pickett tape on YouTube? Shred 3 bro, just for you. Okay, just for you. I'm going to put one out before this chat. Okay, so you can go watch it right after this chat. Chris Medina. Have you noticed Jimmy G has regressed this year as quarterback? No, I have not noticed. I also have not watched. So that's not a good answer to your question. But I appreciate the super chat and the support of the channel. That's for sure. All right, do me a favor as you guys come in, make sure to hit that like button. Man, my setup over here, I don't stream enough to overcome my own issues with my setup over here. Brian's brains, appreciate the support, my guy. See what else we got question-wise in here. Where is the game tonight? The game is at Lambeau. It's going to be rocking, man. the bitey kneecaps versus the Pack. Thursday night football. I'm excited. It's fun for me. The other thing I like about these Thursday night games for me is I don't have to worry about Friday content. I'm probably going to do one of whoever plays better today. Prime, sorry, I didn't see your question. Was it good? I missed it. I told you, man, I apologize. I'm not used to having this many people in the chat. So if I don't get to something, man, I apologize. NG49, love some Brock and the 49ers. Appreciate you. Oh, we got Brazil in the house. Theo. I don't know how to speak Portuguese, but I appreciate it. Damn, Jay Hank, that's too far for me. Justin Fields does not ease Cole. Taysom Hill, bro. Finn 5.7. Don't yell at me. I already talked about the Geno stuff. The Geno stuff is coming. Christopher, Zach Wilson to blame? ? Have you seen improvement? I have not seen it. I shouldn't say. I don't want that to infer that I haven't seen improvement. I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it. I have no interest in watching it. We got a lot of the Jets peeps, man. The one thing I will say about the Jets crew is, man, y'all are passionate. What would you do if you were the Jets offense coordinator this week? You don't know how funny that is to me. I'm not necessarily going to answer it because I don't know what I would do. But the fact that you think that cat and that's funny. Alan Lee, favorite sandwich and why? Break it down like you would when you were reviewing a quarterback tape. Why do I have my phone going off at 4 o'clock today? Oh, that's to check my fantasy. Ha ha! Look at you guys are in real time. Is Jones going tonight? Don't they come out with a game? Do the actives, inactives? I took that dub last week, guys. Let's see here. Hold on. This is real time. Now we're like living with each other here. We're all friends. 800 of us closest friends. What did the inactives come out today? Jones is going. He's going for sure. I should share my screen. I don't know how to do it on my phone. My fantasy team is winning. How about this for fantasy? My fantasy team is winning, but not playing well. So, I'm playing like in every game, I'm winning. But like if I was playing anybody else in the league, I would be losing. All right, hold on. Let me edit my lineup real quick. You guys are save. Look at that. Just in time. Love it. I'm going to get back to the sandwich thing. Don't let me get out of here without doing the sandwich breakdown. Juan, if you could do a live breakdown, one per week, 20-minute Q&A afterward, not only would it be awesome, but I bet there would be a number of super chats and it would be huge. Juan, I agree. I would like to do that. At some point, that's going to happen. The technology is closer. In fact, it's probably there right now. I just haven't done it yet. And the main reason I haven't done it is because I usually do my videos like weekday mornings on the West Coast. So like primetime games are not great for me, or like weekend games are not great. Just doing other shit. So that's probably the main reason why it doesn't happen. Sandwich. My favorite sandwich is called the El Diablo. It's hot now. It's not like devil hot, but it's hot. Park Place Deli. Shout out Coronado. It's got like spicy chicken, mustard, like this kind of like unique, thick, hot sauce. It's sweet. Got some onions, some jalapenos. It's on like it's got like a unique, almost like a focaccia bread. It's like a thick bread. Bacon. It's good. It's just hot enough, but I like hot food. Crippled. Coming in hot. That was funny. A bunch of people sent me that on the, if you don't know what he's talking about in the super chat, I appreciate it. Crippled01. I guess today on the NFL Network, they do this like thing where they flash photos, and they threw up a couple photos of me back in the day. Younger me, much younger me. And nobody knew who I was. So just when you think you're going great, like I'm over here having a blast with the channel, nobody knows. So we still got a big pocket of people we haven't infiltrated yet in the football world. It was pretty funny though. Definitely no hard feelings at all. I thought it was hilarious. I don't know if I'm not that great at stuff like that either. So I would be terrified if I had to do that. There's a really funny video somewhere of my guy Ocho Cinco doing the similar thing. I don't remember what he was on, but he like knew every single backup for the Bengals except me, which I thought was about right. Andrea, what do you think Jordan Love needs to work on so far this season? I don't know. That's a good question that I should probably interweave that into the video that will probably come tomorrow for Jordan Love, depending on how this thing goes tonight. Maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll do the winner and the loser tomorrow. TJ Williams. Appreciate it. How many CJ Stroud games do you need to see to say he's a franchise guy? Ooh. I mean, a lot would be the answer to that. I mean, so much goes into that. You got to win big time games. You got to win playoff games. You got to stay healthy for a long time. But from what we've seen so far, like the little sample size, if it stays like that, I think it's fair to say that, yeah, he's on the trajectory to be a franchise guy for sure. You just have to keep doing that. It can't be 3-game sample size. It's got to be like a 30-game sample size, on the way towards that. 30 games, not that much, right? That's like 2 years. Appreciate everybody coming in. As you come in, hit that like. Keep this thing going here. I'm trying to think if I've ever come anywhere close to 1,000 people in one of these lives. Maybe after a Super Bowl. I don't think so, though. I think it's only been a handful of hundred. So I appreciate you guys coming in. If I don't get to your questions, which I'm not going to get to damn near every one of the questions in here, I apologize. And see if I can get some Washington State film to do that, because I've heard he's playing out of his mind. There are so many good college football quarterbacks on the West Coast, and I've gone through some issues with the college film. Issues for another day that will not be discussed in this type of medium, but trying different ways to be able to share it. And I need to get I basically put it on the back burner just because the NFL has been cranking out stuff, and it's been, so much fun to do that stuff. And I always know that eventually I get to the college football stuff in the off season as the draft centric stuff. So I try to do a video a week for the college football crew, but it's inevitably usually only on Patreon. Brandon Friedman, where's the Justin Fields week 3 video? It's on Patreon, bro, and it's been on Patreon. Hop over there, become a member. The link is probably in the video description to this chat. If it's not, it's in every single linked video. Zalman, thoughts on Sam Howell? Yeah, my thoughts on Sam Howell. I did a video last week, maybe the last 2 weeks. I didn't watch any of the Bills game. I heard it was rough. I have no burning desire to watch that Bills tape of them playing. We'll see. I'm sure I will do another Sam Howell video, because I thought up until this point he'd played pretty well. That dude hangs in the pocket. He's got some guts. He's a gunslinger. I think he's fun to watch. That doesn't mean that it won't go sideways sometimes. There are a number of experts, potential clowns, doing film breakdowns now. Really? Clowns? I appreciate it. I don't know. Have more people come into the film breakdown world? I'm in the content creation breakdown world that I'm just trying to crank out as many as I can. Coda. Cheers. No beverage right now. I was thinking about trying to get a lift in during the game. Not that I can't lift on a beverage or two, but I've learned that my performance potentially suffers a little. So I like to save my dehydration for post-lift, but that is the main reason. So we only got water. Jesse Wallace. Do you believe in Desmond Ridder for the ATL? I want to. I do. I don't love what he's being asked to do. Okay, I think that there are some things that Desmond Ridder does really well. I think things that look a little bit like robotic and tight wound, to me, are efficient and effective ways to play quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to be the type of guy who looks super fluid and smooth and has a great feel for the pocket and is super creative out of structure and dynamic and got a massive arm. Like, that's not him right now. But I think the way that they have constructed their roster is going to be tough for anybody to play quarterback at a high level. They just, when you turn on the film, when I watched the film, I don't know if I said this in the video, I thought they just looked slow. They look big, like they're big as hell, but they are slow compared to watching other film. Now you turn on like the Miami Dolphins and that's like watching film on fast forward. So, you can't, I think they're at the extremes. I would think it would help to have a little bit more speed on the perimeter to create some more space for Desmond Ridder to do it. But they're also in like a lot of heavy personnels all the time. And it doesn't look like the amount of detail and nuance and execution in their run game is the same in the pass game. And so it's going to be tough to be successful playing quarterback like that when you're, looks like spending all your time doing run stuff. Lethal. Appreciate it. I think Jordan Love will be good tonight. I'm excited to see what their plan is for 97. See my guy Thor make some tackles. Dewey, Bucks Eagles film. Didn't watch it. Nope. No Jalen Hurts video coming anytime soon. I think I did a Jalen Hurts video last week, so I paused that this week. Any plans for fantasy content like quarterback predictions? No. I'm doing a fantasy league. My son is the commissioner. It's hardly very serious, although I do prefer to win versus not win. That's about the extent of my fantasy football expertise. Michael, my guy. This question may need a whole video to answer. But how is the progression order determined in play design? Length of the route, break direction of the route. Yeah, less about the break direction and more about just the timing of it. So like if it's a quick game route, that's going to happen before a deep route. And so your footwork is going to be tethered to that. It's usually the drop tethered to the depth of the first read. And then the next read needs to be coming open as you're into that like second hitch or reset. And so it's all tethered to your footwork and the protection. And so just knowing those types of things, it's not like, hey, this guy runs out. Now you can't have your first read go out on one side and your other read go out on the other side. It's pretty rare to have those types of reads. They're all kind of layered together based on where the quarterback's looking and the timing and the rhythm of the drop and the footwork so that they come open at the right time. Jesse, you're welcome. Is Anthony Richardson prime? Is Anthony Richardson the end of the Colts quarterback carousel? I hope if he can say, sorry, I didn't see the bad questions, bro. If they were bad questions, just not very good at reading these things. Is it the end of the Colts carousel? He has to stay healthy. Period. End of thought. We played 2 games, haven't made it through the 2 games. I know, a little funky one. The concussion is tough. Getting knocked out at the end of the first one, tough. But he's got to play. You got to play and you got to find ways to stay on the field. And you got to run him. All those types of things have to go together. But yeah, he certainly has the potential to be the end of the quarterback carousel. I'm hoping he is for y'all. What QB would you take if you were starting a franchise? Can't say Mahomes. Caleb Williams. That's easy. This is great. Jordan. JJ McCarthy thoughts. JT. Good question. Another guy that I have kind of banked that I need to get to. I haven't watched any this year of Michigan, really, because I don't think Michigan has played anybody up until this point. Forgive me if you're like a fan of one of the teams that they've played. At some point, I will definitely do a lot of JJ McCarthy stuff. I think I thought he was not under the radar. I thought he was undervalued last year. And so I'm excited to see more. I just haven't up until this point. Surf. What's your honest opinion on Dak? I don't know if I'll be my honest opinion is I don't know if I have an opinion. He's just not my favorite guy to watch. And so I don't watch that much of it. I'm more interested just because of Mike McCarthy and what it looks like in the transition to a different offense. But I mean, seeing their struggles in the red zone, those types of things, I'm open for him to kind of surge onto the scene. He's never been what I would classify as like a top tier guy that I'm just excited to turn on the film and see the crazy throws that he makes all the time or the dynamic offense that they run. That's just me. B. Foster and Jake. Hopefully I'll get to those super chats in a second. Let me scroll all up. What do you prefer out of a successful quarterback? Dual threat game breaker or quick throw surgical gunslinger? I prefer both. I I would probably add like a third category, which is a little bit more what I would consider like the modern successful quarterback. And that's the big arm, athletic enough, creative player. So can do a little bit of all of the above, but can also extend and create when something's not there. So that's who I would go with. Jake, Shanahan offense versus Jay Gannon defense this week was lots of chatter after some crazy acronym that SF was ready to expose Philly coverage team. Anything to look for? No, sorry. Is it going to be a close game? I would imagine the 49ers are rolling, but maybe the Fighting Ben Steels will be game. It was fun to see. I will say it was fun to see that Josh Dobbs video. I was so happy for that dude, man. That's an awesome win for him. All I want to rock. Based on what you've seen from Jimmy G recently compared to what Aiden O'Connell displayed during the preseason, arm talent, etc., who is the better options for the Raiders going forward? I mean, the better options to win right now, I think you have to say Jimmy G. I mean, the guy's won damn near everywhere he's been. The guy I would prefer to see is Aiden O'Connell. Man, I made a mistake on social media the other day saying AOC. Holy shit, that opened up my comments and posts into a whole world that I want nothing to do with. My bad. My bad for real. Sweet jumps. Appreciate it. Got just 700 of our closest friends in here hanging. See what else we got. What time does this game start? Does it start at 4:30? Well, 4:30 Pacific time? Probably not, huh? Jordan, it's a silly question. JT, how do you know your backup so perfect with a football helmet amongst the props? Damn it, I missed the chat. It went too fast, buddy. Sorry. Got too many questions in here, dog. This is a good problem to have, I guess. I've never experienced it before. Nick, do you think Justin Fields can salvage his career? Hell yes. Hell yes. 1,000% yes. That doesn't mean that it will happen, but I totally think he can salvage his career. In fact, I think they can salvage this season. I know it's hard to wrap your head around, and I know it is for everybody, but you're only in week 4, played 3 games of a long-ass season. Crazy things happen. But they just need to find their way a number of different layers and levels, but it's definitely doable. Zared, appreciate you. Will you be doing PR? Will you be doing a vid of Caleb versus Stanford? No, I will not. I mean, not right now. Maybe in the offseason, draft season. Penix, Washington, are they legit? Hell yes. I love that wide receiver, that perimeter. Really like Michael Penix Jr., good dude. Got a chance to visit with him, hang with him at Elite 11. Fired up to watch him more. We cannot get a Zach Wilson breakdown, James. I apologize. If you want to see more, you can check out the chat earlier. Alexander Wilson, Sam Howell, he looked confused about what Buffalo was showing. Doesn't look like he checked down. Thoughts? No thoughts. Didn't watch the game. Thought he looked pretty good in the first couple weeks. I'm sure I will circle back to Sam Howell at some point. But I did not watch the Buffalo game, and I don't think I will. Alan, any Spencer Rattler videos coming soon? Probably not. Probably will get to many Spencer Rattler videos as we get closer to the draft. Again, it's one of those things for me, y'all. I know I can do the college football stuff in the draft season, and there's just too much good film right now in the league for me to choose to do a South Carolina game versus any of the videos I did this week. And I'm just not that interested, if I'm being honest. Michael, I laughed at that question. That was a good one. Samuel J. NFL Europe or CFL, which one was more fun? NFL Europe, for me, was way more fun because I got to play. In the CFL, I wasn't playing, so that wasn't that fun. Plus, I was like at the very end, and it was fun, but I definitely had more fun playing. It's always more fun to play. Coach Grays, how much are the different motions helping Tua? I think they're helping a lot. I don't know. I should know a lot. I think they're helping. I think it's just so fascinating to see like real-time innovation. I know that motion has existed, where you go out But the way that they're doing it, the speed that they're doing it, the technical timing, the landmarks, the motion landmarks, the snap landmarks, it's awesome. Beecher Baldwin, would you ever release a quarterback tiers video? I was actually gonna do something like that, not what you're thinking, like straight up tiers. Right before the season started, I just didn't have time to do it. I probably will do an iteration of that next year because there's some way that I want to do it, but I haven't yet. SC Ninja, number 32 for the Lions. Branch, gonna haunt Jordan Love tonight. Okay. We'll see. Can we get a Quinn Ewers versus Bama breakdown? James, I did it on Patreon, and I think it's already down. ? Someone would have to go into Patreon and see. But to put it mildly, I was having college football issues. So I don't know for sure. If it's not up there, I probably will repost it at some point. Not anytime soon. That's about all I can say. Spencer Jeffries, do you think any NFL QBs have seen your videos? Yes. Do I think? Well, yes. Gotta ask better questions. Again, I haven't done it probably for a bunch of new people coming into this thing. Just thanks for coming in, hitting the like. Thanks for liking the channel. Thanks for engaging with the stuff. It's a lot of fun for me to do this thing. So I certainly appreciate y'all coming in. Ooh, I forgot to do this. Well, it's too late now. Ellison, your favorite pregame meal. Ellison, I was going to do a video about this. One of my buddies gave me an idea to do a pregame video, like everything from hotel meetings to food to night before to day of to walkthroughs to pregame at the stadium to ride. I'm going to do it at some point. Good question. Thank you for reminding me. Fuck. Trip hop. For real? Come on, man. Can you be an elite running back if you change? I'm not even going to answer that. I appreciate Brian's brains coming in hot with the yells. Thank you for Hacker Pro Studios. I appreciate the love. All good stuff here. Again, I got to do these lives more if we're going to get this many people. I really do. I just don't have a way to sort through exactly what the best time to do it is. Paco Simbad, do you see Shanahan joke that McDaniel motion is cheating? I did not see that. Do you have any good pro comps for Jordan Love? Ryan, I don't love the comp game, bro. And that's not a bro like coming at you sideways, Ryan. I just don't love the comp game. I think it's usually lazy. I never liked when people compared guys. Like when you're coming out of the draft, they always do the comp game. And I was always like, man, that comp kind of sucks. So I don't like comping people like that because I've been on both sides of it. So no, I don't. Can you do a Jordan Travis? SC Ninja, I have done Jordan Travis. I actually have done a Cam Ward video also. They're both on Patreon, I think. If they're not, they got taken down. Again, issues. But I've done them. I'm sure I will do more of them as well as we get into the draft season. I know that you guys are, everybody's locked in with college football right now. Key Chanton, do you want to be a quarterback coach in the NFL? ? No. The other thing about this, and again, I get asked this a decent amount, and I've just learned this the hard way. And I've also been a coach enough to know, and not very much, but 3 years at the high school level. And as someone who kind of suffered through being a backup in the league for most of my career, I have a head coach mentality. Okay, I'm not saying that I couldn't do the position thing or the coordinator thing. I just have a head coach mentality. I just feel like I'm better suited and more at peace when I'm the one making the decisions. It works great in this environment, right? Like I'm the quarterback, I'm the head coach, I'm the coordinator, I'm everything in this environment. When you start like being part of a staff or like being an assistant or like, a quality control person working your way up, those jobs are tough, man. Don't love some cat that you don't necessarily fully respect telling you what to do all the time. It's not easy to do. And so I don't have a burning desire to be a position coach. I just don't. And I know that might not make sense to everybody, but I'm old enough and somewhat savvy enough to know myself to know that I'm more at peace when it's my decisions. Juan, I appreciate the kind words, my guy. I don't know if I want the streaming stuff. Like, this is fun. It really is, but it's not necessarily like my favorite thing about the channel. Like, my favorite thing about the channel is watching ball, talking about it, communicating it, sharing it, that type of thing. And I guess I could do it live, like a live stream like that. I'm not saying I would never do that, but I just like the part where like guys like McAfee or guys like that are legitimate like media brands, media personalities that are in that game. I just don't have a burning desire to do that. And I mean, it's awesome that they seem like they've hit their stride. He's got a sweet spot. There are a number of people. He's obviously the top of the game, but that is like a different trajectory than I'm doing. I'm in like a super sweet spot with what this is right now. And as it continues to grow, it's kind of like more humbling than anything, if I'm being honest, and a little like somewhat overwhelming sometimes. But like, the intention was never to be like the big time streamer or the big time, media personality, or to get picked up or to be a color guy or to be a broadcast guy. Like, that was never the intent. In fact, it was always the opposite. It was always, this was the avenue or the lane, because it wasn't that. It wasn't tethered to your next contract or picking up your rights or, the next person retiring and taking your job. So it was like, this was the unique lane to kind of cut that path. And so we'll see what it looks like moving forward, but it's pretty fun right now. Jackson, what responsibilities does a backup quarterback have? I think I have a video on that, dog. Sean, I'm in San Diego. Donato, if you know. Bulldogs Gaming. Why I like this channel? It's honest. Appreciate it. Try to be. Dylan, would you ever branch out into the film breakdown of other positions, like wide receiver school, O-line school, tight end school? I think that would be fun. I think I would lose a little bit of my like credibility, maybe, just because I played quarterback. I feel like I have a deeper understanding of it. Not that I wouldn't want to do it. I've thought potentially of like, if this thing ever scales, to like do a more like every position, have people come in and try to do, similar type things, I think would be cool. We'll see if that ever happens. That sounds like a lot of work. Ooh, Richie Rob. What a question, my guy. Tyreek Hill or Calvin Johnson? I don't know if I could ever go against Calvin. I would like to throw to Tyreek. I will say that. I think it would be fun to see what it's like, because I have this feeling that like he would be a guy that you just can't overthrow. And that's a really cool feeling. Had that feeling a couple times. The other guy who had a similar like twitch, I think Tyreek Hill is more twitchy, but a guy who was like that early in my career was a guy, Dante Stallworth. Dante, unique story, but we were the same draft class in New Orleans, and he was like crazy, like the acceleration and the twitch and the speed. It was just, when he was healthy before any injuries, it was almost impossible to overthrow on a go ball. And so stuff like that, I think, is just like, sometimes in the league there are freaks of freaks that just kind of almost take your breath away. And so when they're that fast, that quick, he was one of those guys for me. Banquet Meal, you're just a Megatron fanboy yelling at me. It's because I threw my first touchdown to Calvin. So yeah, I guess. Alexander Wilson, I have to ask you about Dion. Thoughts? I mean, not really. I think it's been pretty crazy, like legitimately bananas, what Colorado has been able to do the first couple of weeks of the college football season. We'll see what it looks like here. This week it's going to be tough. I think that he's alluded to it a few different times, but there are a number of guys away from being a legitimate Power 5 contender at the line of scrimmage. I think that's more evident than anything else on their film. But like what he's doing for interest in the game, it's unparalleled. It's crazy impressive. It's really cool. There are a bunch of super chats that came in that I didn't get a chance to see, so I apologize if you gave me some good stuff and I didn't get a chance to see it. Mark is probably not going to do wide receiver breakdowns, wide receiver school, not going to work. Tua or Lamar for fantasy this week? Ooh, I don't know who Lamar plays. It'd be hard to sit Tua right now, wouldn't it? Unapologetic truth. Do you think Luke gets fired? Do I think he gets fired? I think they're going to have to make changes somewhere if it continues. You know, a month is usually when I would say that stuff happens. I wouldn't have been shocked if it happened 2 weeks ago, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I think something's going to have to change pretty quickly. They're just, because of the other side of the ball, I think it's harder. That's just my own take. Oh, Lamar plays the Browns? Come on, dog. Go Tua. That's an easy one. Jim, your quarterback hero as a kid. Ooh. The quarterback hero, like when I first got into football, it was when Steve Young was playing quarterback for the 49ers. I remember John Elway for the Broncos like in the late 80s, I feel like. But I wasn't like a diehard, and they were, I wasn't living in Denver. I think when I lived in Northern California, Steve Young was playing quarterback for the Niners. They were winning. That was probably my original one. And then it was always interesting to have a chance to, not that I know him very well, but the little bit that I've talked, it's always unique and weird to talk to people that you looked up to as a kid. I always thought it was weird. And then the guy who when I started getting really serious about the quarterback position, the guy I looked up to the most was Rich Gannon. I just loved how he played. For when he was with the Oakland and they were balling out. Alexander Wilson, again, bro, you're taking over. This was a big discussion recently. Do you think Chad Ochocinco Johnson is a Hall of Famer? I've never thought about it. I don't think he helped himself with that like gold jacket stunt back in the day. I think you could make the argument without like having his stats in front of me. I don't know. If he just had a normal personality, would he be considered a Hall of Famer? My initial reaction would probably be no, but I don't know. I've never thought about it. I've never really looked at the stats. Man, pretty wild that there's 700 of us in here. I certainly appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm bummed that I didn't get to all probably the really good questions that are in here. And don't necessarily have any idea how I would ever get through all of them. This is a bizarre experience having this many people in alive. So thank you for being in here. My guy Brad, always coming in hot. Do you see the short motions with Miami? Hell yes. Do people know what it's called? I'm not going to say it in this live, but I've said it. I've seen it confirmed other places and had it confirmed from multiple people. If you know what it's called, you can put it in the chat. Did you see the short motions with Miami? Loved it. Simple, hard to match and set cover matchups on defense. They use it in the run game too. Thoughts? Yeah, Brad, I love that shit. I love it. And I love the way that other teams are trying to steal it, but because they don't have the speed and they don't have the detail of it, and the detail of it is, for me, is the landmarks and the timing. So when he goes to send them, and then you have to snap it at the correct spot, and you have to get the really fast, usually prima donna perimeter players to go 100 miles an hour. Like they've got to burst, like shot out of a cannon. It can't be like a diddle daddle, like la 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 la, like old school shorty, like shuffle motion. I love the burst element of it, the speed. It creates so much stress on a defense underneath to be able to communicate. And really, you can't even communicate. You just have to have rules. Your rules have to take over. We're like, hey, you've got the one, you've got the two, how you're going to deal with this in this formation, in this call for every call. Pretty awesome. Yeah, I love it. I can tell you guys don't know what the name of the motion is because it would be all over the chat if you did know. I haven't seen the right name. All right. I think that's a wrap, you guys. We're going to leave on a high note. I'm going to make this promise to this group, 700 of our closest friends in here. I'm going to try to do more lives. I certainly appreciate you hanging out and talking some ball. I really do appreciate all the kind words. Oh, there it is. I saw somebody do it. Googlab. You got it. Is that right? Is that your name? Googlable123. All right. Okay, a couple more because I see the super chats. You guys are sucking me back with the super chats. You excited to see how these defenses adjust to these young quarterbacks now that they have solid film on them? That's when it gets exciting for you. I mean, for me, we're talking about. I thought potentially that the league would have better answers for Brock Purdy, and they just haven't yet. Now, maybe the 49ers are so good and or Brock Purdy is so good that it doesn't matter. I think it'll be interesting to see if the league adjusts a little bit to how CJ Stroud is playing and how well he's playing. You know, I think it's hard. I mean, what are you going to do to take away like Tua and the Dolphins, what they do? What I would imagine takes away what they do is weather, some bad weather. But I mean, they ran the ball pretty well. Anything that neutralizes the speed, you know, like a muddy, wet, natural field would probably make it a little bit even. You know, if Tua can't throw with the anticipation or accuracy and weather, you know, maybe it's going to impact them. I'm trying to think of other young guys that would be like, take a step back if people really got. I mean, we'll see. I see Alan. Hilarious. Shelton, yes, I am going to watch the game. All right, that's a wrap. Really do appreciate you guys hanging out and all the support for the channel. It means a lot to me, and we'll do this again. All right, I'll see you on the other side.